Just 3 months ago, Northern Ireland suffered one of its most devastating bombings. Tonight, we reveal the extraordinary lengths to which detectives are going as they try to unmask the Omagh bombers. This is the bomb that killed 29 people, 8 of them children, in Omagh on the 15th of August. It's one crucial piece in the jigsaw of forensic evidence now undergoing minute analysis by police scientists. 3 months on, we report from behind the scenes of the biggest murder inquiry in the history of the Northern Ireland Troubles, the hunt for the Omagh bombers.
When the bomb goes off, the first thing that happens is the bomb blast kills people in very close proximity. As it explodes, the vehicle itself would disintegrate into hundreds of particles of very sharp, ragged metal. And anyone who would be unfortunate to be in the path of one of those projectiles as it flies through the air at great speed would suffer horrendous injury and indeed death as well.
There are many who will carry the scars of the Omagh bomb for life.
Me and my mum went into a fruit and veg shop and bought some fruit, and then we were going on round to a big supermarket which was sort of away from the high street, and that was the last thing Mum said to me was, right, now we'll go now and we'll go and get the shopping. And as soon as she said that, the explosion went off. The next thing I remember just being covered in rubble and glass and everything, so I tried to get myself out of that. Eventually when I'd got all this rubble off me, I wanted to get up and run away, and I wanted to look for my mum and see where she was because I couldn't see her. And I realised that I couldn't get up, and I looked down and my foot had been completely blown off.
Hold it on it, put pressure on it, full pressure.
I remember when I did look down and saw what had happened, and I could feel then that with the glass and everything I was bleeding. I had lots of cuts, and I was bleeding, and I knew that I was losing blood from the wound. And I just thought I was going to die.
20-year-old Suzanne Kelly has had to postpone her return to university in England, where she's studying to become a primary school teacher. She's had her right leg amputated below the knee.
I think being fitted with the new limb has been the worst thing. I wanted my leg to come back, and it's not mine, but there's nothing I can do about that. If I want to walk, I have to have this artificial limb. I can't walk very far. If I walk anywhere at all, I get very sore very quickly, so I have to stop. Your whole life is just changed, completely changed. These days I would get really angry and feel very bitter towards the people that did this to me. And I would get depressed as well.
Oh, you're happy with...
Eric Anderson is Northern Ireland's most senior detective. He's been given the task of leading the hunt for the Omagh bombers.
We have left no stone unturned. We have employed the Metropolitan Police Bomb Squad. We have employed expertise from everywhere. Everything that is humanly possible is being done to bring together a case against the bombers.
Anderson's inquiry began in the rubble of the blast itself, a crime scene in chaos but hiding many vital clues. The police went to the unusual lengths of carting away the rubble in skips to be analysed in their forensic science laboratory outside Belfast. The debris was subjected to a painstaking fingertip search. Anderson was looking for what was left of the bomb itself.
The bomb's very important. It's important to know what made it up. It's important to know the constituent parts of it. But what is particularly helpful in a bomb investigation is to know the type of timer power unit which was used by the bombers in order to detonate the bomb and to get it going. I suppose you could say in a way that that's somewhat like a fingerprint in terms of how the bomb was made and perhaps who made it even.
This charred device is what Anderson was looking for.
You have on this part of the bench the actual bomb and its constituent parts, minus of course the explosive. But here you have the main piece of the timer power unit. You have the initiator switch, and you have the actual timer mechanism which is still intact apart from the top part of the initiator.
Next, Anderson showed us this, a replica of how the timer unit looked before the explosion. It's housed in a simple Addis lunchbox, a trademark signature Anderson and his men have seen before in previous bombs. This is the actual lunchbox lid found in the debris.
Well, this will tell me a lot of things, which I really don't want to go into on television, but the scientist getting this piece of evidence will be able to tell me an awful lot about the bomb maker, and what we're about in this whole investigation, really.
The rubble also produced a roll of film from which this photo was developed, a shot of the car concealing the bomb minutes before the blast. The young man and girl survived. Shortly after the bombers had delivered their deadly cargo came the warnings.
There were 3 warnings within the space of 3 minutes. The one thing that they had in common was they gave the same code word, Martha Pope. And that code word was received by the telephone operator at Ulster Television and also at the Samaritans.
These are the actual phone boxes from which the warning calls were made. They were ripped out of the ground by police and brought here to the forensic laboratories for minute analysis. They're looking for fingerprints. The search extends to the coins found inside the boxes. They're coated in superglue, which makes fingerprints show up clearly in this special light. But as the sophistication of police forensic techniques grows, so does the determination of the terrorists not to leave behind any clues. That means the inquiry has turned to witness sightings to trace the location of the bomb car during the crucial period between its theft south of the border in the Irish Republic and its arrival in Omagh 48 hours later.
Well, we know the car was in Crossmaglen in South Armagh, and we also know that the car had been in Cullaville in South Armagh as well. I can say to you that it drove up Campsie Road in Omagh on that Saturday, shortly before it was parked in Market Street, the scene of the bomb. I know that the car was parked there at 2:20 p.m. by 2 men who simply stepped out of the car, closed the doors and walked away, leaving the car in a very crowded street.
Anderson's team has seized hundreds of tapes from closed-circuit video systems. They're being exhaustively studied in the hope of sighting the bomb car and its occupants. Eric Anderson revealed to us that the team may be close to a breakthrough.
We have, in fact, identified the car on those videos. In relation to that, I would rather not say anything further on that because we are still working on it. It is a long, protracted part of the investigation, and it's very much alive and ongoing.
Soon, the personal effects found at the scene will be returned where possible to their owners, including the watches stopped at the time of the explosion. But is the net really closing in on the bombers who've left such a terrible legacy behind them?
We're close to knowing the identity of the people who make up this team. What we need is evidence to bring those people before the courts. The people in South Armagh, the people in Carrickmacross, the people in the Omagh area can help us. They can provide the vital evidence that we need to take us that step further.
They still keep coming in.
The inquiry team, along with their colleagues in the Irish Republic, have made a total of 42 arrests since the bomb. But those detained have been quickly released. No one doubts the thoroughness of the investigation, but will police ever find a way of proving what they know about the Omagh bombers?
You know, in a liberal democracy, there must always be a stark difference between the intelligence that a police service has in its possession and evidence that's necessary to prove an offence before the courts. So there'll always be that distinction. But we're moving rapidly towards a position of having the necessary evidence. So if people think they have up to this point escaped or evaded justice, they should take no comfort whatever in that.
At every step of the way, from the theft of the bomb car through to the warning calls, there are members of the public who know something or saw something. Police now believe it's time these people examined their consciences and came forward with any information they have about the bomb.
Our investigation has yielded a tremendous amount of information. The public assistance has yielded a tremendous amount. There is yet more the public can do. We will bring these people to justice. I want the public to help us so that we do it as quickly as it's humanly possible to do. Only through that can the healing process for all of those devastated families be assisted.
And if you think you know anything that could help catch the bombers, call 01662 246 979. That's 01662 246 979.
And just before we go, thank you for